Good evening, dear children. Today we will study about electrochemistry part 3. In this part, what we are studying is how to measure the electrical conductivity of solutions. So, here what we are using is Wheatstone bridge method. So, in this Wheatstone bridge method, you can see 4 resistances R1, R2, R3 and R4. Okay. This is Wheatstone bridge method. Using this method, we can measure electrical conductance of solutions. And here, in this arrangement, 4 resistances R1, R2, R3, R4. Here, we have to measure the conductivity of electrolytic solutions. That is why here in this place, that means these are the 4 arms of Wheatstone bridge. Okay, these are the 4 arms of Wheatstone bridge: R1, R2, R2, R3, R4. Here, one of the arm is connected to a conductivity cell. Dear children, here we have to measure the conductivity of electrolytic solutions. Therefore, we have to fill the electrolyte in this conductivity cell. As you know, a conductivity cell consists of electrodes. Here we are using platinum electrodes, platinum anode and platinum cathode. And here, this conductivity cell filled with electrolytic solution is connected to this part of Wheatstone bridge. Here one detector is connected, and next is one AC source is connected here. We cannot use DC because if we use DC, that may leads to the electrolysis of electrolytic solution and thereby the concentration may change. Okay, here use AC only. We cannot use DC because electrolysis occurs. Therefore, at a particular point, at a particular stage, the Wheatstone bridge, in this detector, Wheatstone bridge, one detector is connected in this Wheatstone bridge, and this detector shows a null point. At that particular condition, at that particular stage, R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4. R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4. Therefore, this R1, R3 and R4 are known resistances, and R2, that is the resistance of the electrolytic solution that we have to find. Therefore, using that relation, R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4. That's a particular condition at which the detector shows null point. Okay. Therefore, from that we can calculate the resistance of the electrolyte. As you already know, as you already studied, conductance is the reciprocal of resistance. Therefore, from this resistance, we can calculate the conductance. And from the conductance, very easily we can calculate conductivity of the electrolytic solution. And this is about part 3. Hope all of you watched part 1 and part 2. Thank you all. Dear children, welcome to electrochemistry part 4. In this part, we have to discuss about the difference between molar conductivity and normal conductivity of electrolytic solutions. Normal conductivity we already discussed. In normal conductivity, that is the reciprocal of resistivity, and we discussed about the experimental method to find the conductivity of electrolytic solutions. And this is molar conductivity. Molar conductivity, the definition of molar conductivity is, it is the conductivity of 1 mole of electrolyte or 1 mole of solution kept between the electrodes having unit distance apart and unit area of cross section large enough to accommodate sufficient amount of electrolyte. Molar conductivity is nothing but the conductivity of 1 mole of electrolyte taken in a conductivity cell. So you already know that what is conductivity cell. Electrode is present, electrodes are present, platinum electrode present, and therefore the solution or electrolytic solution whose conductivity to be measured is taken in the conductivity cell. And in molar conductivity, we know that how the molar conductivity varies with dilution. So we have to study how the molar conductivity varies with dilution. You already know in the case of normal conductivity, as the dilution increases, the conductivity decreases. The reason is the number of ions per unit volume decreases by dilution. If you are adding more and more water, that means as the dilution increases, the number of ions per unit volume decreases and thereby the normal conductivity decreases. But in the case of molar conductivity, we have to study how the molar conductivity vary with dilution in the case of both strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte. First, I will explain the molar conductivity, how the molar conductivity varies in weak electrolyte. Weak electrolytes, you already studied. Weak electrolytes are the electrolytes in which is added to water that will not dissociate completely. The ionization is partial. Ionization is not complete. Therefore, if you are adding more and more water to weak electrolyte, more and more ions are produced. For example, acetic acid is a weak electrolyte. If you are adding water to acetic acid, more and more acetate ions and H plus ions are formed. So, in the case of weak electrolyte, as the dilution increases, more and more ions produced and thereby the conductivity increases. And in the case of strong electrolytes are the electrolytes. When it is added to water, it dissociates completely. For example, HCl is a strong electrolyte. When HCl is added to water, definitely that HCl completely dissociates to form H plus ions and Cl minus ions. But in the case of acetic acid, that is not a strong electrolyte, that is a weak electrolyte. But in HCl, that is a strong electrolyte. Therefore, the ionization is complete. If you are adding more and more water, the number of ions remains same. Thereby, the conductivity, there is a change in conductivity, but we cannot see a steep increase in conductivity. Here, the conductivity, in the case of strong electrolyte, the conductivity increases. The reason is, as the dilution increases, the ions get more space for their movement and thereby the conductivity increases. But in the case of weak electrolyte, the number of ions increases, the volume also increases and thereby increase in number of ions and volume. That may be the reason for the steep increase in conductivity, molar conductivity of weak electrolyte. I will explain this with the help of a graph. Here HCl, that is a strong electrolyte, and if we plot molar conductivity, lambda m denotes molar conductivity. Therefore, if we plot lambda m versus concentration, here we can see we take a highly concentrated HCl solution. We already know HCl is a strong electrolyte. Therefore, that solution contains H plus ion, Cl minus ion. That is, ionization is complete. Here, if you are adding water, that means we are diluting this HCl. Therefore, on increasing the dilution, or if you are adding more and more water, the molar conductivity increases very slowly. Here we can see a slow increase because number of ions remains same. That means HCl is a strong electrolyte. If at any concentration, the ionization is complete. But here in the case of acetic acid, if we take a strong solution or strong electrolyte, electrolytic solution of acetic acid, ionization is partial. Therefore, if we are increasing the dilution, more and more acetate ions and H plus ions produced. That means the number of ions increases. Therefore, here you can see a steep increase in the molar conductivity of acetic acid solution. Clear? That means in the case of strong electrolyte, we can see an increase in molar conductivity, but a slow increase. But in the case of weak electrolyte, we can see very steep increase due to the increasing number of ions. Hope you all got the idea. Thank you.